Hi everyone, my name is Gabor and it's time to look at some more plugins. This plugin, the Dirty Dog Overdrive and Reverb by Safari Pedals. Now, just right from the start, this was given to me by Safari Pedals, so this is what you would call a sponsored video, but all opinions and everything are my own. They just gave me a copy of the plugin. Now, Safari Pedals have been popping up on my Instagram feed for a while now, and I really like the way, first of all, the first thing that always grabbed my attention is the way they look. There's sort of these guitar pedal looking things, but quirky sort of different plugins, all sort of animal themed. And I thought, yeah, I'll contact them just to see if they want to send me some plugins and I'll do some videos with it. And this is one of them. So this is a Dirty Dog Overdrive and Reverb. It's sort of a reverb with drive and gate and quirky stuff. And I really quite like it. So I thought, let's check it out. Now, signal chain wise, what I'm doing is I'm using, to begin with anyway, I'm using my Parts Mastercaster Blaster. There's a video for it here, which is a Jazzmaster sort of guitar with some fantastic Martin A. Smith pickups, make a guitar neck and mastery, all that stuff. Watch the video if you want to find out more about it. It's always linked in the description below as well. Now that goes via my Peterson Strobostomp HD tuner, which is always on my desk, straight into my Audient ID44 interface, and then straight into Logic. Now, because it's a guitar thing, I'm using a guitar plugin. I thought I'd use it with a plugin. I'm using Genome. This is the default setting, California Cleans, just with the reverb turned off, but it's just that straight default setting with sounds. Oh, actually, if we turn reverb off, it sounds like this. I just wanted a nice clean sound. Because what we're going to do is we're going to look at it in front of the amp and after the amp. Because with a lot of plugins, you can put it in different places. You can put it into mix buses and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, let's check it out, what the difference is running that into an amp like a pedal, but then also after the amp. Because you can get quite different results. So in front of the amp, default sounds suchly. So let's kind of check out the plugin a little bit. So you've got a pedal looking plugin. You can resize it, which is something that I always like. That's always a big yay, thumbs up from me. You have up here, you have presets, and we'll look at some of the presets. You can save and you can trash stuff. You can bypass it by clicking this. You can oversample as well. And then, okay, so basically what you have a reverb, which is that time knob. And you also have a pre-delay for the reverb. So you've got those two are basically your two reverb knobs. Now by pressing the little light, you can actually turn that stuff off. You can turn all of these things off. And then nothing is on. Basically you have, these two are your reverb. This is your decay time, which goes up to 4 seconds. And this is your pre-delay time, which goes up to 150 milliseconds. So you can have a little bit of a pre-delay sort of thing going. You have a pre-drive. Now the pre-drive is before the reverb, and you have a post-drive, which is after the reverb. You also have filters. So you have a high-pass filter, and you have a low-pass filter, so you can kind of sculpt the reverb sound. And you have a gate, which can be quite a heavy gate, quite a full-on in-your-face gate, which you can either have pre on the input signal, post on the output signal, or both. And through that, you get quite a lot of different sort of things going. So let's just quickly just have a look at a few different things. So if we just turn a reverb on and turn the volume on the guitar up. So this is the reverb, right? So we can go out, make it quite a big reverb. But I mean, that's basically the reverb. So we can make it quite big. You have a blend down here if you want it a bit more in your face. If you just want the reverb, or I guess not just the reverb, if you want it to be sort of 50-50 kind of thing. got quite a big reverb. Then you can add a little bit of pre-delay. Ah, you got to turn it on too. It's quite a short pre-delay, but you can go up to 150 milliseconds. So you get that little bit of the attack is a bit nicer. I quite like it, quite low actually. We can have filters on, so we can high pass or low pass. So this is the high pass, basically cuts everything off below that frequency, sort of, or so if you don't want that bottom end there, you put it up a bit. If you want it, it goes down to 41 hertz. And then you can do the opposite with a low pass filter, so it gets rid of high end stuff. So in between the two, you can sort of sculpt where you want it to sit. I mean, you could technically just use the filters if you want as well. For the sort of record kind of sound, and then maybe turn it down a bit. I mean, you could do that if you wanted. You can use the drive just as a drive, technically. And there's a lot of drive there. Now, if you have the blend down, there's a... You're blending the clean signal into it. You can use a drive with the filters. You can have a post drive, so this is on the output signal, so after the reverb. You can have both. And we can add some of the reverb to it. Now the drives react differently. If you run a drive into the reverb, it will react differently to having a drive after the reverb. You can have a drive in front and after the reverb. I mean, just that is kind of cool. But now we can also add a gate to it. We can add a gate so on the input stage. crank the gate so you can really hear it. So now if I pick quietly, so I have to pick harder for it to actually, the gates to actually open. So it makes it interesting having that gate on the input. Now you can also have the gate on the output. Again, let's just turn both drives on. So that grabs it on the tail end. So it doesn't matter how hard I play. It grabs it on the tail of the what I'm playing. As opposed to or it can be crazy and have both. So it's on the input and the output. So you get some pretty crazy sort of results with it. Now let's have a look. Just so if we go back to default, right? So we're going back to the default sound. Now this is now the default sound in front of Genome, in front of the amp, basically. Now if I put it, so this is now the same default sound, but it's after the amp. It's quite a different sound to if I turn it off. And we go to the before. It's the same thing. So more than anything, it's about finding out what works for you and what kind of sounds best for you. It's different sounds to play around with it. Let's have a look at a couple of guitar based presets. So let's look at electric guitar Dirty Room. Now if we use that same sound after, let's go to the same sound, electric guitar Dirty Room. Quite a different sound. So it gives you different options with plugin in plugin world. The gate's great on this. I really, really like the gate. So let's stick with after Dirty Room 2. I think there's some great sounds in this. Electric guitar solo room. That gate is insane. Now let's do that same sound, solo room. Let's try that. In front of the amp. Let's try that actually. You know what could sound fun? Let's try that with the driven sound. So let's go Walls of Great Britain. I'm pretty sure that was a cool, like, gainy sound, but let's turn the reverb off. So that's the sound. If we're adding that to it, because you've got the blend option. You can add some interesting sort of sounds to it. Now, if you go back to the... Hang on. That one. So this is now after again. Because you're running it, you're blending the signal in, you're running them sort of in parallel. You've got that gate thing, but... You get that, there's a lot of movement going on. What about, is there any more guitar? Washy guitar. Let's turn the output down a bit. Let's try washy guitar in front. Go back. That's great. Let's go back to a clean sound and just turn the reverb off again. See, sometimes it sounds great running it in front of the amp, sometimes it sounds great after. It's just experimenting with it. I think it's a really cool plugin. I really like it. I think I'm got to just honestly admit, it was a totally superficial thing. The very first time I saw them on my Instagram feed, I loved the way they looked. And then I listened to some of the sort of reels they had going, and I really liked the sounds, and that's why I contacted these guys. So there are a whole bunch more of these plugins. I'll put links to everything below. Check them out. Let me know if there are any other plugins you want me to do videos with. I'll gradually go through a lot of them, the ones that sort of work well with guitar, and see, you know, how you like it. But yeah, big thank you to the awesome people at Safari Pedals for sending this out to me. Big thank you to all you lovely people for watching. Check out, if you want to find out more about Genome by Two Notes, there's a full video on that up here as well. And on that note, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.